one singularity. Once you do, you see the rarity. Bring all the abundance to the scarcity. And rise up as one solidarity. That's rules on the script on the polarity. See yourself as someone else with regularity. Some do it for the love of popularity. That's what speaking from the heart of sincerity. Instead of getting for the earthly therapy. Keeping my heart praying running coherently. See it pushing the division with clarity. And that's when my ambidexterity allows me to transmute with severity. Maybe we all pay dues, never charity. So now we got this place back to capacity. Because we hit up in that ass like a cavity. Yeah. Coming out of atrophy. It's the heat of the force of reality. Take solution, you got your reality. So what we got, I'm think about the gravity. Yeah. Think about the gravity. Yeah. Think about the gravity. When you're back, you control the atrophy. That's what it's time to think about the gravity. Yeah. Think about the gravity. Think about the gravity. Think about the gravity. Think about the gravity. Oh yeah. Guess who's back? Yeah, check this out. Hold it down, time speeding up. Having such a hard time keeping up. Must have been love when the lightning struck. Someone, some beats, and a little love. Gravity lifts, the spirit shifts. Starship feelers return like gifts. No more tricks or working shift tips. Damn, son, I was made for this. Fire flip, fractals return in the crystal craft. We watch the world burn. Answer the smoke through the gods who smoke. Most were just there, the rest just choke. Worry, let the spirit increase. Teach, want you to reach. Speak, only words you need. Breathe, so unique. Coming out of atrophy. It's the heat of the force of reality. Take solution, think it out of your reality. So what we got, I'm trying to think about the gravity. Yeah, think about the gravity. Yeah, think about the gravity. When you're back, you control the atrophy. That's what it's time to think about the gravity. Yeah, think about the gravity. Think about the gravity. So what we got, I'm trying to think about the gravity. Yeah, think about the gravity. Yeah, think about the gravity. When you're back, you control the atrophy. That's what it's time to think about the gravity. Yeah, think about the gravity. Think about the gravity. Think about the gravity. Think about the gravity.
When you finally boil it all down, magic is imagination. We are moving into an age of manifestation. Things become actually less material, more ethereal. The golden dawn is when we awaken to this new station of life. What you think becomes real quicker. Regain our imagination, regain our inner child, and let that inner child out.
My name is Frank Castle, founding member of the music group Ice Click and New York City Neo Shaman. After a serious injury sidelined my career in 2013, I decided to set out on an adventure to search for myself with the help of the plant medicine ayahuasca. What I discovered waiting for me was something I could have never prepared for. It was time for me to become something more, someone more. It was time I became fearless. In the darkest of night, gonna let my light shine as my heart beats a rhythm with space and time. When the light starts to shine inside your third eye, you awake to the knowledge that you never die. I'm becoming fearless.
When you finally
What is up, everyone? I'm just pressing buttons over here. What's up, everyone? It's your main man, Frank Castle, your Sorcerer Supreme. Welcome to Fearless Revelations. I had just a few things on my mind tonight, and I wanted to see how many people were out there that are going to tune in live and see how they were doing. I wanted to build a conversation around a certain topic, and I want to just see where it goes. No real relevant information outside of what we're going to discuss. Although I keep having these terrible feelings of remembering something and going, yes, that's exactly it. That's what I want to tell them. And then, oh, look, red balloon. So I've been having that problem with this full moon cycle. The energies have been beating me. And I'd like to say I'm winning now, finally. 3 days in, 3 days out. The full 3 days in up until the full moon itself. Didn't know what was going on. I wonder how the full moon cycles affect you. How do you enjoy the full moon? I mean, it's beautiful. I enjoy looking at it. I'm like, wow, look. I even get some solar going from the full moon, which is great. However, energetically, oof. Talk about no matter how much you purge, you still got purge to purge. My purges have purges. Excuse me. So, what's it like for you? What kind of drama are you stirring up? Are we still wearing masks? Do people still dance? I don't know what it's like out there. I've had to separate for a while and get things done, integrate, right? So I have been recording. I'm just taking it slow. So I've been recording episodes of Fearless Conversations in the background quietly, and I have a couple really cool guests, and I want to just put them out. However, learning curve. I got all these new techniques with video because it's not live video, and I can go back and I can add the intro and the outro and do all kinds of stuff. I wanted a new intro for the Fearless Conversation set, and I think I got it, and I worked on it for like a week, and when it came time for me to just sit down and do it, it didn't sound right. So I kind of didn't scrap it, fixed it a little bit, was ready to go, and then I had to go live with someone else. I've been doing a lot of interviews separately. I hope you guys have been enjoying them. The links have been sent around ad nauseum. I hate to over send links to people because it drives them nuts. So I figure whoever needs to see it, will see it in the right timing, and it will come to them. So greetings, Fearless family. How are you tonight? It does. Oh, hold on. Let's get in here. Mike. Michael, by the way, sending you love. You're the man. You are specifically the guy who set this in motion. What I'm going to discuss some crypto tonight news, and it was because of you that I have this to talk about tonight. So yes, it feels like new energy. When Trump won the other day, I felt the timeline shift. I woke up, popped up out of bed. I didn't know what happened. And then I was like, whoa, I had a whole bunch of texts on my phones and everything. And I was like, wow, congratulations to the people who made the choice. It's time, right? So I felt lighter. I felt good, like things were going to happen now. Not that I'm putting it on a politician, but on a level where I can just go, okay, maybe I can, I don't know, read a book today and not stress that my government's trying to forcibly inject me and kill me in any kind of crazy way. There goes my monetization for tonight. 9 minutes in. They're going to be like, yeah, no. So they went in and booby trapped me, went back. Every time I mentioned anything about the bebop or the anything medical, they removed it. So it's a big fuck you to them. The energy was tight and then it opened up, but then the full moon cycle, this is what the 1-2 punch, boom, boom. It's like, yay, freedom. Okay, now purge, because you have to get rid of all this stuff and you have to face down your traumas and your issues. to get into this new energy, to get it to integrate into you. You feel lighter, it feels good, but you never worked with it really with your human flesh. So you got to start moving around in it and see how it hinders or doesn't hinder things, and how the new environment's going to treat you. I was bumbling and fumbling. I was a complete mess. Everything, it was like going through stages of sickness that I didn't have. It was just the energy. And then boop, felt good today. I woke up and I was like, oh, I finally integrated the energy, huh? Haven't been able to sleep just these last 3 nights. It's been driving me nuts. This is how silly I've been. So the moon came over, and this is how I know we're moving quickly too. So right out this window that's behind me, the last full moon came over the neighbor's house, perfectly clear on a beautiful angle where it lit up my whole house all night long. So I was able from the window to charge the crystals that wanted the moonlight, and I was able to do all that. Man, so now it's a month later, new moon. I'm waiting for it to come over the house, and it doesn't come over. So I don't go outside to look. And I go into the bathroom at 5 a.m, and I look out the window, and it had come over the roof this way. I mean, the angle was completely different than anything I was expecting, and it was shining out the other side of the house's window perfectly. I was like, wow, missed that. Fortunately, though, I got all the benefits from it, which threw me down, beat me up a little bit, shook me. I had a day where, by the way, shout outs to Paula Milo, my etherical translator. She told me specifically to send her love to every single one of you. She loves you. She went out to dinner tonight. I'm gonna drag her out for an episode soon, and we'll show you what we've been going through as a team. So it's been shaking me out, but at the same time, when I lay down, it feels like a meditation that I can't break through, but yet it's all happening to me. But I want to just sleep inside of that, like, now let me sleep. And then work is being done. What kind of work is this? What are we doing? Are we checking in with each other? Are we still on that on the cycle that we've been in? Right? No, it changed. The whole thing changed again. I mean, beautifully, it's evolving. I don't trust the higher up elites on any level right now. I never did, but we're being force fed like another team, and that team is cool, right? It's going to get you in another direction, but at the same time, that guy, Elon, and a few others, they want to put like chips in your head, and they want one robot or more for every person. So they're talking in 10 years to have 10 billion robots. You don't know how I feel about any of that. I don't care about a split and all that with humanity. I kind of don't want to end up like this, like a robot, fleshy cyborg weirdo being controlled by a hive mind. That would drive me nuts with all the work we've put in, right? So we keep moving forward. I try to move forward with no fear at all. Paula and I have had to make huge adjustments, and just when we were about to literally snap, my mother's like, I'm going to and just not snap at any one specific. She just said, I'm going for the holidays to Florida. So she bounced. She took Cannoli the dog and just was like, you're in charge of the house. I was like, yeah, but at the same time, it's a big house. Now that it's just me and Paul and the cats. So it's an interesting thing that happens, but you want to run a home, manifest it. Come on, let's go. Manifest the home. You've been saying it for a long time. You want the acreage so you could have the animals, so you could do all these things. The plan has never changed. We're evolving through it, and we're kind of forgetting certain things. Some of us fall back into certain things really hard, and then they come back and they're like, oh, thank goodness everybody's here still. Right? There's all these crazy things that are happening. Like I know some people, I know a lady that's having a problem with like spider beings, but this is like a kick out. So I haven't contacted her yet because I don't do anything under the full moon. But maybe she'll listen to this, and if she hears this, she'll know in advance that I'm coming. First of all, I've already spoke to all of them, but your contracts, they're up. Like I pulled her contract and asked the spider being directly involved. You always go to the root of the problem, right? It's the scariest place, of course. Giant spider. Hey, what are you doing? This belongs to me. No. That is a creator. Creators don't belong to nobody, homie. Oh, but it's in the contract. Oh, okay. No, I understand that. I know we're contracted. Can I see the contract? Let me see it. Let me see the contract. Let me see the contract. Oh, this contract's been up for a long time. You know, I don't mean to call a reset on you, but like if this was a play, you'd no longer be coming out on stage. You could go home and eat lunch, have dinner. You go hang out with your friends, do whatever. See you tomorrow when the play resets. But you're done. I've had to do this in clearings before where I was clearing my future property. And I had to use my cat, Reggie, to lure this thing out. I didn't even know it was happening. I saw Reggie running towards me. And she was running on the fence, and she stopped, and the whole background, like the forest, got dark, and just. And I heard the voice. I was eating popcorn, and I was walking with a few people towards it, and I'm like, "Well, look who's here! Look who it is!" Right? Because I die and come back. We reincarnate. They don't reincarnate. They're there the whole time. They see you in all your lovely forms throughout history. Staying in the same place and same position until they're moved or whatever. And I said, you can't be here anymore. And it started with the roar. And I was like, listen. Turn the lights on in this place. There is no more scary possess the land. Your time is up. It's reset. There's no one. All your contracts are up. You're done. You played your position and your part. And it was like, oh, you go home? Oh, you speak English? Yeah, it's time to go home. Oh, okay, great. It's like it's the funniest thing. It's when in the cartoons when they punch out for lunch and they all hang out together. And it's like the dog, the cat, the mouse, right? And they all punch into work in the morning, chase each other around, punch out. They share lunch with each other. They tell each other what the other one's wife made them. Oh, this is great. Oh, I'll be coming over Sunday. Don't forget. They punch back in, and the dog just punches the cat. Cat turns around, just punches the mouse. It's like, look, we're here to do a job, right? But when that's over, like you don't do that no more. You have a new position now. And they're like, what do you mean new position? It's like everyone's shifting. Everyone's getting into a new position, whether it's the land that you're standing on, where like you move somewhere, you go to a different place, you meet new people, you try new things. This all changes the whole thing because you wouldn't normally do that under the contracts that you were under. So, excuse me, you have beings holding on to this craziness. Oh, I have a contract. So the ones that did it to me, the ones that look just like aliens from the movie Alien. I was in my old apartment. I did a whole show on this. I ate mushrooms, and the mushroom said to me, "You're going to have to talk to these guys first." I looked up at the door. The door unfurled, and I first thought it was a dragon that was like curled up, and then it was like an alien from the movie Aliens. And I was like, "Wait a second! I recognize that one, specifically that one." From when I was a kid, like I was having terrible nightmares. Then I'm like, wait a second, you guys are real? And then they started talking to me, and they're like pulled out the contract and showed me, you're mine. We're contracted to you. And they started all coming out. And I go, oh, so you all speak English? Like I was so confused. I wasn't afraid of them. I'm sitting in the light just like this. And here they come out of the walls. And I'm like, I've seen scarier. Literally been in way worse scenarios. I want to know why you're here and why you keep showing up and why people give a shit. And they pulled the contract and showed me, and I said, that contract's been up for years. You come to me with a contract that's up? And at that time, I didn't know, like, we were going to have this mass thing that happens, like a critical mass movement. I kind of felt it and stuff, but I didn't see it in all the details and everything. I wasn't there yet. It wasn't where I was. And I remember saying, rip that contract up right now. Rip that up. It's no good. And then they were like, oh, okay. So I'm like, oh, so wait. Rip that up. You knew? You straight up knew you were playing a game with me. And they were like, yeah. So you're a bunch of liars. And they're like, well, yeah. Oh, I'm the dummy. And they're like, yeah. I'm like, what's your plan dealing with me now? They're like, nothing. We're leaving. Bye. They left, and I had the greatest experience meeting two different beings, ape beings, like gorilla beings, and then underwater aquatic beings. I did an entire show on that. You can go back and check that out. But so here we are now. What's this all for? What are we doing? What are we trying to do? Now we're here. Okay, so what I'm getting at is I think not a lot of people have put their best foot forward. This is a personal opinion that I have of the entire crowd. I'm not picking on anyone specifically. I'm not even thinking right now of anyone specifically. What I'm trying to say is that you're a bunch of beautiful beings and creators. You're all creators, right? I don't care. Down to the last one. And are you doing your creation? What does that mean? Are you getting yourself into position to create more? Are you helping yourself? Are you still having fear? Because I'm watching, I saw something the other day that kind of weirded me out. It was like a map of the United States where people voted red. And it was like 86 point something percent red voted. So 13% is the one crying online that's getting like amplified inside the echo chamber. And I'm just thinking like this. Hey guys, girls, everyone listening. On paper, I could show you how this whole scenario, and I'm not political, but I'm trying to help you come to realization. What would help your life right now, minus the election results? And everything they talk about is what this side is doing and preparing for them. But because it's this side doing it, they are either refusing to see, or ignorant to see, or they're just straight up robots or bots of some NPCs that are just, they're just going down with the ship 100%. And I'm kind of like, what's this? Are you fighting something in there, or is there nothing there? Are you fighting the awareness? Like it's coming on strong. And there's a specific topic that involves what my man Michael, who's in the chat right now. Shout outs to everyone, by the way. I'm looking up. I see Heather, Michael, Chazang, Abundance Protocol. I'm going to get to everyone in a second. But this has to come out because this is really the only message, right? I've been on this crypto journey with everyone here who's been with me that knows me for at least 7 years, at least 7. That I talk about it, and I stopped talking about it because people get mad at me when I talk about it. They're like, I don't really like that. I don't want to hear about the UFOs and everything. And I'm like, okay. But when I told you how I learned about crypto, that was pretty crazy, right? King Midas literally came in, showed us our future. Our future was ET family anyway. But if you were to be able to trade with someone in a UFO who crash landed and he needs a part, and I'm being metaphorical with some of this, but this is literally what they were saying to me. They were like, do you have anything you can barter with me? And I'm like, no. Like, what would you want here? I don't have anything an ET would want or be able to barter with. He's like, yeah, but if you had like a cryptocurrency on a blockchain, so it was locked in there. I was like, well, I don't know what blockchain is. Blockchain is actually life. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then boom, it happened. Teacher just showed up and said, let me explain this to you. You are living in a holographic simulation. Bing. Notice how vampires need to be let in by knocking. Hey, who's the man of the house or the head of the house? They have to let me in. What is that? Well, things have to be let in. Let in why? Well, because just like demons and everything else that are trying to get in, you're locked inside of your blockchain, your technology that holds your holographic form together. Now, your consciousness is doing it, but there's like an architecture that holds you into that. It like comes through school with you and everything in the university. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy, right? They're like, well, what if you had a money system that was built on that so it couldn't be stolen? You could log it in, you could see that it's been logged in, but it's also unnamed if you choose to be that way. And you can just move things around. Nobody say nothing. Nobody will be able to do nothing to you quietly, and no middleman, no this, no that, but you become the bank. So now you're responsible for this level of crazy, right? Like of system. And I'm like, yeah, but that's pretty crazy. I'm like, it's, and they're like, it's still early, relax. But now the UFO crashed, right? You guys can barter with space credits from the blockchain, which is what it's really like out there. They want DNA from the blockchain. I'm like, so a money-based system based on real life, actual real life, not phony real life in the matrix. And they're like, I think you're getting it. I'm like, I think I'm getting it too. So my aura and all the energetic signatures within inside of me that make up everything that's part of me, top to bottom, is locked inside of a blockchain that only if I let you in by taking the shots or demonically say putting my shield down saying take me, or like, you could come in, well, into my circle. They're like, yeah, you're getting it now. So if you say no, though, it's 100% no. That's why you're learning now how to say no, because you've been saying yes and you didn't know that you were saying yes the entire time. And I'm like, oh shit. Okay, so this level of crazy is crazy. I said, well, but they can control it and they can manipulate it. They were like, nope. The math works like this. And it was like over, I guess, 100 years or something. I don't remember it 100% off the top of my head right now, but only so many Bitcoin would come out. And then they were, after each amount of time, distance from one amount of Bitcoin being mined to the next, when it hit a certain point, it would halve. So now only half of what you were getting here now comes out here. And this happens over the course of many years. So the math works itself out. And then you can't steal it like online, steal it unless you not protecting it, or it's not, if it's in your custody and it's taken care of properly, it cannot be hacked. That's not the way the blockchain's meant to work. So then I was like, oh, so then they were telling me, okay, this kind of cryptocurrency can be manipulated. It's like, this would just be like a ledger towards governmental things where they can see everything you're doing. They can change the numbers. So that's like a centralized command where there's like a unit watching that can change things from here. And I'm like, that's terrible. They're like, okay, you don't want that, right? I'm like, that's what we have now, kind of, but it's not quite there yet. It's not quite where what they're speaking. So I'm like, so we need decentralization. They're like, yes, now you're the bank. There is no this guy over here. What happens to this guy over here gets sent out to multiple computers that do checks and balances on all the other computers randomly that are doing the Bitcoin mining. So you're getting checks and balances back from the individuals from their computer points. So I'm like, oh, well, what happens if we shut their computer off? Like the government EMPs, the United States, they're like, do you think the Bitcoin nodes all are in the United States? So I'm like, man, yeah, I guess then it doesn't really matter, right? They're like, well, they put them everywhere. So anywhere there's technology that can be transferred, there's a Bitcoin node hidden in the background. in the blockchain, because it's not a physical place. It's in the ether right around you, and you're just sending it off, and it's collecting the data and unraveling it here. And I'm like, this is pretty interesting. They're like, yes, on this level, though, you can make mistakes. You're still young. You don't understand. Like, if you don't copy the number correctly and send the right amount, and you just send all your thing at once and you sent it to the Litecoin and not the Bitcoin, it could get very confusing quickly. What did I do? And it's all gone. Bye. Sometimes it can be fixed. Most times it can't. Excuse me. There's no help center. But they also are making it easier and easier and easier and easier and easier and more and more and more secure. But let's get back to why we're even having this conversation. So space credits. So now I have space credits. I can help trade and barter with some character in a crash. They were using a crash UFO. Look, I need a body part for my car, right? I crashed. My tire's flat. I need a new tire. Can we set, like, what can we give you? I can't give you force fields. I can't give you laser guns. I can't do any of that stuff. That's against all the rules, right? And they're like, do you accept space credits? And it's like, yeah, I have the blockchain. Boom, Bitcoin. Then they were showing me, they were like, so the future's gonna have a centralized coin as well, which you can see happening. It's the XRP. I was kind of against it, and then I had made a show where I said a bunch of shows I don't like XRP because it's centralized. However, not having some is stupid. I thought about it. I'm like, I'm not just team Bitcoin. I'm team make money for everyone. So if you get in, you could get in. So it's always good to have a handful of everything that you think is worth it, but just so you don't have all your eggs in one basket. But I mean, high percentages, like 85% in or more in Bitcoin. People are like, oh, I'm too late to the game. I'm like, okay. So when I started my show, I started talking about this. I said, yo, it's 800 right now. Here's my story. This guy, Dave, when I used to work on Raz Radio, told everyone about it way back. He was like, you don't understand. It's going to be the thing. If you ever get your hands on some, you got to hold on to it. Now, we were down in Florida at a radio station. I can't remember the name of the station. And Dave was talking about it on air, and the host was like, because he was an older guy. And then everyone kind of went down the line, but Dave was so passionate about it, and he was a buddy of mine. And I was like, I'm going to look into this, but he was older. So everybody there was older than me. So I was like, wow, I look up to these people. They must know something that I don't. Then you start hearing the stories. How someone got a pizza delivered to them, and they gave up like, I don't know, 10,000 Bitcoins or something. Some crazy number. I'll take the Bitcoin, give it to me. And now that's worth crazy money. And at the time it was, you can get for $1, 1,000 Bitcoin. Like it's crazy thinking like this, but now it's 800 and I'm doing the show. I just had this crazy experience with my partner, Serge. He brought this all into my life with, I was already thinking about gold and silver. And then I was like, I can't afford gold. I was like, silver I could buy. I bought, everybody gets a bunch of silver. Oh, I got a little tiny pile. This is cute. You're supposed to get a little gold, a little silver, right? Things to help you in your future. What is going to be valuable? I don't know what I'm doing, but my job fired me after being out and my court case with them not being done. They let me go. They were like, you're out. And gave me not a lot of money. It was like 10 grand. And then I took that 10 grand and split it. And I said, I'm going to get some silver. I'm going to get some Bitcoin and Ethereum. And I'm going to get my life together. It was like thirds I was taking. So it was only a couple of grand. But this is all the money I was going to have for the rest of my life given to me at that moment. And I had medical bills and workman's comp, and I couldn't walk right, and my neck was busted. And I'm on the show going, you don't understand. King Midas was in my house with the golden hand touch thing. And he was teaching me about gold, silver, the Federal Reserve, and the dollar. And I knew a lot of this stuff already, but never the way it was taught like this. They just put it on a chart. He was like, look at me, look at me. And I was looking at him. I was like, holy, I can't believe you're here, King. And he goes, you're the king too. Sergio was with me. He was sitting down. He was like, there's this guy. He's like, looks like the Burger King, but with a belly. Everything he's touching, bling, 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 bling. He says to me in front of Serge, hey, and he was animated like golden cartoon, like the whole room transformed. He says, do you have your silver coin, Frank? And I go, how do you know about that? And he goes, come on, really? And I go, well, Sergio, I pointed right to Serge, just gave me, and I pulled out the coin he gave me. He gave me a silver coin with a gladiator on it. He said, the gladiator reminds me of you, Frank. Frank, it reminds me of you. So we're going to get this going. We're going to learn how to do this together. And I was like, this dude's awesome. I'm like, Sergio has got the best. He just showed up from California at my doorstep here in the Bronx and was like, we're going to learn like proper money value and stuff. We're doing it right now. But we had no idea when we smoked DMT that's what was going to happen, even though that was his plan when he got there, was to explain some stuff to me about Bitcoin and all this. So I'm on the show now going, it's 800. I'm going to buy a couple and then do some stuff. I was talking about Ethereum was like $12, $8. Litecoin was $2. Like it was nothing but building. So I was afraid to press the button. So I talked about it on the show, got all riled up, and didn't press the button. So I'm guilty. I'm telling you, I'm looking right into the camera, not even looking at the screen, nothing. I was like, I'm scared. I don't have any money. I have nothing but this. They just gave it to me. And I hooked up Coinbase to my, I set up a checking account that was separate from my other stuff. And I would just throw like $100 in there or whatever. So when the money came in, I said, this is the money I'm going to allocate over here to buy crypto. I'm just going to go the proper route and just do what I got to do. So I'm like telling people, yo, you got to do this with me. You got to do this with me. Nobody did it. But my boy Josh did it. I did shows with Josh. I think Josh was on FearLess Conversations back in the day. We did a whole bunch of interview stuff on the earlier episodes when we were on video format. I had Josh on. And he was like, I'm doing it. I'm pressing with you. So then I didn't press. He didn't press. And then it was 1,200 like 3 days later. And I'm going, I had watched it from like 600 do this jump. And I'm like, man, if I would have just pressed it back, I couldn't get it done fast enough to get in the 600 range. But I watched this thing move. And I was embarrassed at myself. It's $1,200 now. Now I'm like, I could maybe get two. Like that's a lot. No, most people don't have that money. This is all I'm going to have, but people keep saying it's going to be $1 million. So I'm going to, even King Midas was like, he's like, whatever you touch with this learning your economics and stuff, how to deal with this stuff, the marketry with this, you're going to do it. And others that do it are going to do it, but you got to do it. So I'm like, all right, I'm just going to do it. Paula walks in the room, sees me staring at the screen. It was up the whole time, never took it down. She goes, so how many did you get? Because it was 800. So you should have on about, she threw the number down. And then she just looked at the giant fucking zero on the screen. And then was like, what's wrong with you, man? She was like, what the fuck did you just do? She's like, you just lost an opportunity. We could have doubled and then bought more. Or did something. Like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm scared. She goes, push the fucking button right now. And I just looked. I said, okay, everything's set up. Press the button. Bang, 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 bang. Got in on it. I haven't stopped. Now I don't need to. I'm in a place where I had to take care of my future. but I was explaining it section by section by section, piece by piece by piece for years, trying to explain how blockchain is life and the hologram that we're in, not the matrix, not the false one, but the real one, is based on a blockchain. And I'm like, holy shit, this is fucking great news to me. Right. So all the other coins, everything all of a sudden invades my space, all the altcoins, they call them. So I'm like, no. I only saw a couple of coins and they told me that I would make on those coins and then to just stick with that, to buy when it's low and hold. That's the rule, right? Just buy the dip. You buy the fucking dip only with Bitcoin. They kept going, listen, these are the ones you're going to buy. I'm going to tell you exactly what I fucking bought. So you get out your pen and paper or whatever. It doesn't even matter. It's still going. You're not late. This was the point of the whole thing. But not acting on it, it just makes you a fuck nut, right? So I was like, Ethereum. They kept calling me Ethereum King, right? They went, oh, it's the Silver Avenger. I had some silver, just some, a little bit, probably what most people have that have a little bit. And then they were like, Ethereum King. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. So they explained what Ethereum is. And I said, oh, the other altcoin from Bitcoin. And they said, no, you're thinking of Ethereum as a coin. And I said, well, what is it? Obviously, it's like a Bitcoin, right? And they said, no, Ethereum is like an industrial product that you can use industry wide for things that you're not aware of just yet. And it's going to relieve so many pressures. And I said, please explain in English that I would understand. And he said, okay, so you can build a contract like a music contract. I'm interested. Tell me more. Okay, so a music contract on the Ethereum platform, right? So I'm like, how does this work? They're like, well, you set up a contract. So you're performing at a show. I might have talked about this before. So I'm doing a show. So it's me and my partner KG. So it's Sons of the Sun is in the house. Don't forget to check out our music, Sons of the Sun's music. So we're doing a show, and then he gets 50 and I get 50. We're going to keep it simple. 50-50. It's $10 a ticket to get in this place. I get so for every person that comes in, you get like $5. So that gets split into two. It's got to go two ways. So t-shirts are $20. The venue collects X, Y, and Z on each amount. For every CD, because this is when CDs were kind of around still, you make 50 cents on the CD. Let's just keep it weird. So when does the artist get this money? And where is the artist protected knowing that he's performing on the venue that night at the venue? So I'm like, I don't know. So they're like, okay, on the Ethereum contract, you make a contract. You say in the contract, I'm performing at this venue. The venue guy, whoever's there, agrees. They open contract with you. They say, we get this percent of the show. You say, I get this percent, but that percent has to, okay, so now here's the venue. Here's the guy that owns it. He kind of goes over here. I go here. That Sons of the Sun splits into two, me and Kevin. Right? Okay. So they're like, someone comes in, they buy a ticket, they scan it at the door. That money instantly divides in the math that is required per sale of that ticket instantly per person. It does this and sends the money directly to you. It happens like that with every product. The contract is set up. So if this is how much came in from how many t-shirts you sold, how many concessions were sold, how many, what do you get on an $8 drink? Oh, well, the band is going to get 5%. Well, that's added in. So I could be on stage performing at the venue that night, And I would have to shut my phone down because my contract would be alerting me every single time someone scans a ticket or does any of those things. I get paid instantly, exactly what I'm supposed to get paid from the contract. So I never have to go to Kevin and go, you make more money than me. That never happens. It's in the contract what's being made. Never have to wait till 4:30 in the morning as an artist to get paid after I performed 8 o'clock at night, to hope that I'm not arguing with the venue, because even with a contract, they go get a lawyer. Who's going to care? Over $200. Well, that kind of stuff will never happen again. I don't even have to meet this guy. He just has to open the contract or have a representative of the place or some kind of official one, because I'm going to get paid at that moment anyway. So there's never a need to interact with these people on that level that used to be troublesome. It's a pain in the butt. A lot of people get screwed over. There's no screwing you over. I don't wait a month to get a check. I don't wait till next week to get a check from Madison Square Garden if that's where we're performing. I get paid that night. Per ticket, exactly what you're supposed to make. Bang, 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 bang. It's all going in the background. Every time you scan something, every time it goes in, blip, it knows through the ones and zeros what's yours, what's not. So if I'm performing with 20 other groups and all this other crazies going on, the percentages just come out and go to everyone the way they're supposed to. Cleans and clears the board of all this trouble. I'm like, wow, you can do that with that. And they're like, imagine now making contracts with that across the board with other things. It literally fits into every industry. And I'm like, well, that's pretty crazy. They're like, yeah, you should have some of that. They were like, you should think of that as the way you think. They kept calling me the Silver Avenger. So they were like, the way you think about gold and silver, and you're gonna think like Bitcoin is my store of value. Gold is a storage of value, right? Even the dragon sleeps on the hoard of the gold. I'm like, right. They're like, well, Ethereum's like silver. Industrial use is all over the place. Gets used in products, this, that, the other thing. It's just woven into the fabric of your own societies since the beginning. I'm like, wow, it's pretty cool. They're like, yeah, think of that as Ethereum. So it's very important to have. You may think it's low right now, and it's not about it being high. It's about you getting in on it and it changing the world, and you being on that surfboard or riding that waves, however, without a frustration. So I'm like, well, how do you not frustrate from this? And they're like, wait, we're not done. You need some Litecoin. So those are the three coins I've always pushed: Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. I thought Litecoin was done for. All of a sudden, they started memeing the other day. It's worth it jumped 20-something% in hours. I think it was 15%. I was like, bro, that's crazy. It's like $85 now. And boom, boom, boom. I don't even know what it is right now. It might be in the 90, 100. I got to look. So, but where are you? Press the button. It's $2 now. What's a couple? It turns into much more later on down the road. So you're learning patience. It's 89.89. Nice number. So you learn patience by buying low and holding. But what about this? What did we just tell you? I know you want to make $1 billion right now, but that's not what this is about. It's about if only 21 million Bitcoin are available throughout that course of time, the 100 years, they have to be mined out of the ether through mathematical equations till it goes bling on the back of your computer. Oh, I solved that part of the equation. And then, I don't know if you guys saw that. Something just flew right behind me, and maybe an orb or something. Because there's nothing here. You buy and you hold. This teaches you patience, and then you are on the precipice, the top percent. So when you can get something at a certain price and then no one can get it later on, or it becomes very difficult. It goes up in value, and then it goes up in collector value, they call it, because you can't get it. It's like you're waiting for the next bing out of the computer, and then you're on a queue with the entire planet because it's for everyone. And it's like, oh, well, how are we supposed to do this? And it's like, no. You're thinking by 1 Bitcoin means my life is saved. I have a Bitcoin. You're not realizing that with the scarcity problem that's going to arrive, all you have to do is be in it. So back then, if you would have thrown 100 in, I got a product from a friend of mine, and I gave him $200 in Bitcoin back when Bitcoin was like around 1,200. He held on to it and quietly disappeared into the background, showed back up a few years later, and just looked at me on the camera video and said, yo, I forgot about that Bitcoin, right? When we made that sale. And I go, yeah, that was crazy, right? That was a good use of it. I was able to send you. He goes, yeah, I still have that. I just bought a new car. He goes, it was the down payment and everything. I was able to do it with the money I'm making from work. And I was like, wait, what? He's like, oh. The guy around the block from us at the old apartment said he had a license plate that said, thank you, Bitcoin. He had a brand new Jeep. Right. So people that were getting in, they were watching. All right. I don't want to jump too far ahead. So now we're at 1,200. I press the button. I've learned about blockchain at this point. I'm learning how to talk about it, but I'm like, okay, I get the Ethereum thing, but I'm like, I feel there's going to be so many more uses, but Bitcoin's just your storage. They're like, everything now is going to be sent out there to confuse you. Can you make the money? Yes. Can you be a trader? Yes. Can you lose all of it? Yes. And what happened? I watched a whole bunch of my people lose all their Bitcoin after like 2 years because they went into altcoins. And I'm like, why are you not? Everyone's looking for the quick cash grab. Meanwhile, I'm just buying and holding. We had these conversations at 1,200, at 2,200, at 5,000, at 7,000, 12,000, 26,000. It went down to 20,000. Everyone said it was going to be BS. They said it wasn't real money. I paid my rent 1 month in it. I literally gave a person out of my rent, my landlord, Bitcoin money. I mean, somebody wanted to invite me on their show and argue with me about it. And I was like, I just paid my rent in it. What are you talking about? If you have someone that's willing to accept it, you're on point. And if they held on to that, now it's 90,000. It's sitting. So where's the argument? Where's the faulty? Tell me again what your argument is. We've been having it since back then. Now, it went up into the 40s, right? Then it went down to the 20s. No, that's it for Bitcoin. I'm like, I'm still up 20,000%. What are you talking about? If I pulled everything out and just cashed out right now, I have more money than I've ever had in my life. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, whatever. You're fucking stupid. We have family members that are like, they made like $7,000 in it from like a couple of hundred. So they were like, oh, but Pennsylvania, they're going to outlaw Bitcoin. I'm like, no, they're not. Hold on to your Bitcoin. If they would have held it now, they would have been in a ridiculous amount of money. They didn't. They sold it. And they were like, yeah, we cashed out. We made, a couple of grand. That's great. We used it. I don't know, but whatever the fuck you use that money for. But I'm like, I don't have money. This is my future. This little compartment has to take care of my future. And I talk to everyone through these different levels. My family didn't jump in. My mother's awesome. She was with me the whole time. But my brother didn't jump in until it was 69,000. And then it fell. And they were like, it's all over. Rah, 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 rah. I'm like, you need to put your fucking retirement fund in Bitcoin at 28,000 it went down to. People were like, oh, it's over for Bitcoin. I'm like, I'm still up 20,000%. Like, I'm buying and holding. Just buy the dip. 20,000. Give me $5 in Bitcoin. $5, $5, $5. And I smoked cigarettes at the time, right? And then I quit. And I'm like paying $20 a pack of fucking cigarettes in New York. And I'm like, I don't have money for this, but yet the little bit of money I'm trying to starve cigarettes. I could just take that 20 and turn it into 2,000. And people laughed and they were like, yeah, whatever. Then it went up again. And some people were like, I did do the retirement thing. My brother was like, I did at some point when it was back up at 40. I dumped into it and it went back up. Now he's like, just like everyone else, holy shit. So I'm like, yeah, did you still doing that? He's like, no. I'm like, you should have fucking kept going. He's like, yeah, but I gotta, everyone's got their plan. And I'm like, there's nothing more important than having a small sack of this stuff. So when no one else in the scarcity line waiting in that queue has it and has the ability to have it, but everyone accepts it and wants it, the value goes up, up, up. So when you're like, well, how do you get millions out of, like, you're just barely breaking 100,000? So you're going to tell me when everyone on ramps on this shit, it's not going to be worth minimum $1 million. We've seen this in history. Everyone laughed at email, Google, the post office, fucking air conditions when they first, I don't believe it. I'll believe it when I see it. Like, just all kinds of weird shit. Right? But you got the community is like, listen, I know it's an echo chamber, but imagine the whole planet and there's only 20 million Bitcoin and you have 0.0, I don't know, I think it's 3 zeros, 0.00025 of a Bitcoin. You're in the top 1% of the planet. You're in it, baby. I'm going to prove some weird little shit. Now we go to Michael. Michael, I love you. This is all because of you, buddy. So Michael was like, what's your Cash App, man? And I was like, I don't have a Cash App. He's like, what do you mean you don't have a Cash App? I want to send you money. You got to have a Cash App. I'm like, I don't need you to send me money. You're already awesome. I love you, whatever. You come get Cash App. So he blings me $1, I think it was, or $5. I every once in a while. He was just throwing $1, $5. Somebody else got in on that, was like, oh, they saw maybe I had a profile and they sent me another $5. So I had $38 in there. Or 36. I did this on the show. I said, oh, I got 30, whatever, 30, we'll say 38. And I'm going to keep this here and I'm not going to add to it because I'm not connected to this in any way, shape, or form, like my crypto wallets or my bank, my credit cards, nothing. It's just my phone number. So $36, and me and Mike know each other a couple of years. This was going on the last 2 years at my apartment. So 3 years at most, over time. I took that money when Cash App said, we now do Bitcoin. We have Bitcoin. You have a Bitcoin address and the wallet's right there. So I said, well, obviously you're going to want to take it off that if it's possible and throw it on a ledger. However, something I've taught people when PayPal had it and they wouldn't let you remove the Bitcoin. So you could take cash for the Bitcoin, but you can't take the Bitcoin and send it into your ledger offline because their rules were, we own the Bitcoin, but you can keep the cash. You got to, like, if you want to cash out, you got to cash out. You don't get to keep the Bitcoin. So they're like offering you cash for what it's worth, never giving you the Bitcoin, never giving you custody fully. So I'm like, well, that's some bullshit. They changed the policy since then. But I seen nurses using Ubers all over the place. And I was like, yo, they make a lot of money because we had one taking care of my grandmother and then one taking care of my grandfather. So I was like, dude, they're making cash money from this. This is not like, this is all under the table, over the table. Like, this is what we get. $1,000, $2,000 a fucking week cash. And you're like, wow, if you got that kind of flow, I guess you can go with it. So I said, you should throw $100 into Bitcoin now, and then when it's like a couple of $100,000, you'll have over $1,000, $2,000 in there, and you could just use that for your Ubers over like a one-time $100 bill thing. We spend money on such frivolous crap. I'm like, why not throw it towards this? Every other drink and drug everybody's ever done. You're telling me you haven't done anything fucking frivolous, something that you're like, bro, this fucking lighter sucks. I spent fucking $4 for this in Mexico. It sucks. I spent $6.50 for this fucking thing. This is stupid. These glasses, fucking $15. I get them $3 online. Okay, let's subtract all that stupid and put it into Bitcoin. And if it was then, you'd have a couple of $100, right? Now, here is my Cash App. I'm not showing you the link, but $137.95. So it went up like $100 from just that little bit. However, you can send that to your ledger or wherever you keep your Bitcoin. So like you buy it on Coinbase, let's say, right? You purchase it there and it gives you a little wallet that it holds it in, but that's not a secure, good wallet. You're supposed to take it and remove it from there. But it's still under classification of the website, you know? You get some rights with it and stuff. But if that website goes down, not your custody, not your Bitcoin. That's how we look at it. But they all let you send it to where you need to send it. So just get a Cash App, throw some money on it, then take that money and turn it into Bitcoin, right? You do it right on the app. It takes 2 seconds. And then you take that Bitcoin and send it to your ledger or your Tezos or whatever you decide is going to be where you store your Bitcoin. All you're going to do is go flick, flick right to it. And I always do the dollar send. I always send $1 US worth first to make sure this address is going to work. The minute it pings on the other end and it says received $1 worth of Bitcoin worth, you know, 0.000000000, I'm like, man, look at that. It went through. Send the rest. That's it. It's getting easier and fucking easier to do this. And I'm just letting it fly tonight. I apologize. But I'm so passionate about this because it's $90,000 right now. I called my mother and was like, I have 4 times my retirement. My job kicked me out, fired me after a year of being out due to my injury. And so we can't use you anymore. So you're fired. They released me. But we're going to put you on early retirement. So you're going to be getting your retirement starting at 40, which isn't a good thing, but it's the only thing I had. And I'm like, but that was kind of illegal because then when I'm 60 or 65, I'm only getting $300 a month. I think my entire retirement was like $88,000. That's the rest of your life, man. I'm like, how am I supposed to live on that? They're like, well, you get a $2,000 a month. You know, when it runs out, it runs out. I'm like, well, that absolutely sucks. So I'm multiplying out and I'm going, I don't know what everybody's fucking problem is with this. I want people to know you can do this. Okay, now you heard my little spiel about this craziness. The only thing that keeps you from doing things are you, because of the fear or the turnover or how you fall back in line with life in general. Every day I'm busy. I got kids, Frank, you don't understand, and everything. And I'm like, I get it. But however, if this is like the 3rd time or more you've heard me talk about this and didn't jump in with the clarity, you could have paid for your kid's house. So I don't know what you're talking about. And it's like, well, no, we could predict the future. It's like, this is not predicting the future. This happens in cycles all the time. So I'm not mad at you. But everyone wants or I wish I could do it while smoking a cigarette. I'm like, you pay for a cigarette, you could put $5 in Bitcoin. That money exponentially moves. You'll be able to watch everything that's going on. No one will be able to tell you, no, you can't. You can transfer it from one form of coin, Bitcoin, to Ethereum, to Litecoin, to whatever people, whenever they start taking payments. I wouldn't really do this. There's a whole nother video. I wouldn't start paying for things in Bitcoin because it's going to go. It's going to go. I'm a crazy thinker into the fantasy of the whole thing. 20 million Bitcoin split in percentages throughout the entire planet. Even if you remove 1 billion people from that scenario, you got to, each coin is worth well over $10 million. Well over. When you learn about this, you can do the math. You could listen, you could watch the videos, you could see the financials behind it, and you can go, oh shit, he wasn't kidding. I can only talk of my experience. I bought and held. I've learned patience, and patience is key. I just buy more in the dip. That's it. I bought to when they said to me, you don't have to buy anymore. That's it. I said, what do you mean? Isn't there like a bonus class where you could do it? They're like, no. You did it. You're done. You need that extra money in your life right now because you have sick cats and this, that, and the other thing. I was like, yeah, I can't really afford to do that right now. And it was down and doing all kinds of ups and downs. And I was like, oh, is this ever going to fucking work? And meanwhile, they were like, you got to learn to stop being like that. You got to stop with the scarcity mind. Stop with the, oh yeah, this is like, oh, I remember. Oh yeah, wasn't it something like this? Stop. So with great power comes great responsibility, right? So why do you fight your awareness of stuff? Why? And I'm not shouting. I don't mean to shout at you, but it's just passion. It's like, why are you doing this to yourself? Why are you not putting your best foot forward? Why are you not creating? Why are you not so in love with yourself that you bought some silver, you got some gold, and guns? Like what has stopped you from putting your feet in the water and just going, for a minute? And then people are looking at me now and asking me questions. I'm like, yo, Bitcoin's fucking 90,000. I had forgot about it. I didn't, it was like Bitcoin, never heard of it. Right? You just throw it in the background. Now it's going and it's stabilizing and it's jumping and it's jumping and it's jumping. People are like, holy shit, everything else around it's jumping. And I go, rising tide will raise all ships for a while, and then all the other cryptos that suck are going to fall away. If you have no use, you're gone. You're just, it was a good idea. We shuffled some money in there. All the times you ever heard people, cartels are smuggling money in Bitcoin and all this other stuff, it's because they put it on fucking TV shows, and that's what the evil ones were doing. And then blaming mom and pops for $100 in Bitcoin. Don't be mistaken by the bullshit. Okay, so then I go, but what about if they EMP the whole planet? I go, they said, well, there's a node in space. And there's a node stored in the background of the technology that once anything activates and a computer turns on, a node appears. They're like, that kind of thing is an extinction level event, so it's probably not going to happen. That's like saying, well, I bought some silver and then a meteor hit the planet. We all died because earthquakes. Oh, so you still think you shouldn't have had a 401k? Are we talking about the same thing here? Why don't you care enough? Why do you fight the awareness? Are you afraid of the responsibility to be the only one that's in charge of that? But what if I forget? There's you got to go down the road and you figure out, oh shit, there's keys and numbers, and I could take this, hide it, and I could put this, and I could memorize this, and I could put that over there, and no one will ever be able to just roll up on me and be like, give it to me, because first of all, you wouldn't know I have it. Second of all, it's split into 50 pieces. I wouldn't, if I had the piece, I couldn't give it to you and make it work. Sorry. Then you could take that kind of stuff. Right? How many people that would have taken the 100 and made it like $2,000? It would have changed into $2,000, and then said, well, now I could make the move. I have an extra this or an extra that. Now that $2,000 would have been, that original 200 was $2,000 back when this kid fixed his car. You'd have been about 10 grand right now in the pocket off of $100. It's just crazy. Ethereum's at $3,000. I was screaming, get Ethereum. It was $17, $12. I went and I looked at all these reports. I was like, I'm too important. My future's too important. If your baby is that important, why wouldn't you being able to take care of that baby, futuristically speaking, because he's or she is going to have a baby? Why wouldn't they be important enough to fucking press a couple of buttons and look around and see what's really important? See what's really important instead of ordering garbage off of fucking Temu. Like, wake up. And you don't have to do it all the time. It's just, you got to be in it to be part of it. Bitcoin is the tip of the mountain, the tip of the spear. So you stick with that, you're good. It's going to go berserko. So if you buy in now, you're buying a percentage, a fraction, let's say $100 worth. You're still going to go through the same process I went through, except the jumps are going to have to be higher on that $100 now. Right. So you're at $90,000. You want to make some money. You're going to have to, on $100, wait till it goes to $1 million. Then you'll have like a couple of grand. And that's it. It'll be a couple of grand. But if you put a couple of hundred in every now and then, you're already going to be supercharging your future. I don't know what your retirement is. I turned 50 years old. I'm like, I don't know how much more of this. I'm paycheck to paycheck. I think like everyone else. I have everything I need. I have to have for my cats and make sure my wife's okay. And my mother's good and stuff. But I need to have the security, right? Because I am important enough for it. I love myself enough to go, hey, look, I want to be able to have these experiences. If I had kids right now, we couldn't do anything ever except go sit at the park and play basketball or something and go on the swing set. A movie would be like maybe once a month. That's fucking terrible. Right? And I know this grips everyone, but my future ain't like that. My entire retirement was like 88,000. I was 13 years in the USDA. When they got rid of me, it was like 14 years. Because I was on the books for another year. I'm fighting them in court. I'm still in court with this whole thing. I get updates all the time on this ridiculousness. And that wasn't a good enough answer for me. I was like, oh, I'll get my workman's comp check. Never got it. So if I didn't go and press the button, now I'm 8 years later, 10 years later since the injury. Well, I went and I pressed the button. I pressed the button because they were fucking liars. They've always been liars. They've always lied to me. My grandparents got in on Ma Bell and AT&T and shit like that. Like, they held on to those original things that became these grander things so they can have a household with like 15 people that came from it. We're about to do the same thing, but crazier. Right? When we're right there, it's a lot easier for us to do it right now. And I know I just gave crypto the biggest fucking I love you tonight, but I don't care. I'm thankful you're here. Yeah, Bitcoin is not mark of the beast either, so don't think that it is. If anything's mark of the beast, it would be XRP. Anything centralized would be that. But you're a smart person. Don't be afraid of a thing. Like, Obviously, Megatron's the villain. I'm not afraid of him, though. He's awesome. I'm like, he's going to do villain shit. So whenever I put him into play, I know when I'm acting as him, the bad shit's going down. You got to just get in on it. You got to say to yourself, fuck my bank. Go to your bank right now. Not right now. Monday, and try to pull out 10 grand if you have money like that. They're going to ask you what it's for. And if you think they won't, they ask you now in my bank for over $600. There's a little thing, and they're like, yo, what's that for? And I'm like, none of your fucking business. It's for my money in my pocket. So I don't go there anymore. I don't go there. I don't even, I'll use cash if I got cash, and I like to use cash moves everything around me. And I do make moves here in the Bronx. However, everything else is done online, but their system's going to crash. When their system crashes, and you've heard all the stories of the financial system and the QFSS and blah, 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 and the Sarah Gassara. I don't get involved in all that. I want something that's definite. So if they are going to give basic income because things are going to get too high, give it to me. It's given to everyone, fine. But I need more than that. That universal basic income, I make nothing. So let's make something, right? What happens now if you could junk that out? What happens in your future when you're 65, 75, 85? You have $4,000 a month, no problem, till the day you die. You could just bang, bang, bang. And then you can pass that back or off to anyone just by the press of a button. A couple of button presses. You could take care of everyone. You can have an Ethereum contract that when you die, the rest of your Bitcoin gets split between these people, and then you pass away and it goes to them. There's no more, wait, what did I get? Or, no, we have to go through every dollar value and tax them. No, that's not how that works. You know, Trump, one of the first things he said he's going to do, no taxes on cryptocurrency. Let them bring in the mark of the beast. Let them try. Evil's going to do evil shit. Why do I got to sit by broke? I'm not stepping on anyone's head. I'm not introducing the new system. They're coming. It's here. We're ready. It's happening. We're not fucking playing. So why play? I'm in at the base. So when I'm on the other end and they're like, well, you guys are the 1% of the population when it flipped the other way, I want to be in the 1% of the 1%. I would like that. You know, I don't sell anything to anyone here, really. I don't really do that. I have in the past sold crystals, hypercharged and everything. I was doing all that, and it was a lot of work. It was beautiful, but it was a lot of work. And then conditions, every direction, always having to worry about X, Y, and Z, and stress it in this. I'm like, what removes that? Where can I find freedom? Because this is a lot of work for me. I'm still injured and stuff. I have problems, and I have a pretty big family, and I'm like, I got to wheel and deal. I got to do my own thing on top of doing this, plus the show, plus the music, plus the plus. So I'm like, I'm important. What's my future worth to me? Now I'm going to tell you something right now. You can judge yourself I'm not judging you, because in the end, I want everyone to succeed, but whether you succeed or not isn't going to rest on my laurels at all. Yeah, this is up to you. If you decide to walk away, that's your thing. But I'm going to show you how time is value is money. So if we would have did this together in the beginning, your value right now would have been like $89,000 in the bank. Just straight up. I bought a Bitcoin back. So we're just going to say, because it's 90 or 91. So the initial spent to what you made ratio. That's how much you fucking lost out on. You judge yourself by the value of what's happening around you. Be like, geez, I just fucking going up and up and up and up, and I'm just standing here. Yeah. How much more are you going to stand there? Somebody's bediddling your kid, you wouldn't just stand there, right? Why would you stand there with their future like that? I know that's a harsh one, but not if you don't have anything. I don't have future. I have future. I didn't at the time. I didn't even know what the fuck was going on. But I love myself enough I'm not going to gamble this away. It's a small percentage of a small thing that was given to me. And I had a lot of worry. Why fight the awareness? And Paula would say to me, you knew at 800 we would have had more, but we're not greedy, but we would have had more. You could make moves. You never have to sell your Bitcoin. You could take loans out against it. You can keep it, take out the loan on it where it sits here, and pay back the loan, get your Bitcoin back. Bitcoin continuously goes up. They can't hold the part that went up. So whatever, like say you threw 80 in and it goes to 90, 10 of that comes back to you. They can't hold that extra. It's not in the contract. You keep you. Then you could use that to pay off your loan. Take the original amount of Bitcoin back. Like, there are just so many directions you can go with this. We are at the precipice of the world's change, at the forefront of the new everything. And there are opposing sides and values and all kinds of crazy shit. And I'm going, man, there's a section of this population and people that are into the spiritual everything that just won't get on fucking board with helping themselves. Service to self. You are service to others already. The black sheep has done the fucking job. Your job is done. There's a new wave in here doing this. It's time for us to level up. We're warriors. The mission changed. That part of the mission's done. We beat the crap out of the demons. Any demons you're dealing with now, you literally have to say, I'm done with you. You have to revoke them contractually. I take the contract and rip it up. You have nothing over me. You have to mean it. You write contract, put a line through it. All contracts that end, blah, 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 whatever you're going to put, crumple it up, throw it in a fucking fire, stand over it, chant it, mantra it, mean it. And it snaps. It's over. You don't need to be saved. Stop with the bullshit already. We're leveling up big now. Yeah, we made it rain. We're going to do way more than that. We are infusing us into the tech. It's going to be so much more. Bad fellas are going to do bad fella shit no matter what. Why should you have to suffer, though, monetarily? Why are you suffering? Why are you suffering? Ask yourself this. Look in the fucking mirror and be like, why am I suffering through this? What can I do for me? This is something. If you were with me from the beginning and didn't do anything, you're looking at an $89,000 deficit in your fucking face when you look in the mirror right now. Oh, I didn't jump in. I could have made a quick $40,000. You're not worth it? But you buy a lotto ticket, right? But you buy a lotto ticket. You get up and go to work, right? You scrounge, you scrape, you beg, you fucking plead, you bleed. What more? What more do you want? I present to you many other options over and over again. It reminds me, and the concept came to me in the shower, of the guys that was in the, I hate using the flood example right now because of everything that's happened, but you're on the roof and you're waiting for God to come and save you. And somebody shows up in a little boat and says, yo, get in the boat. And you say, no, God's coming to save me. So the guy in the boat leaves and the helicopter shows up. The water's getting deeper. You guys are up on the roof. Come on, get in the helicopter. We're leaving. No, God's coming to save me. Right. And then so many chances and then no more chances. And now you're standing in front of God. And you're like, God, why didn't you come and save me? Like, I do everything in the name of God. And he says, I sent 8 different fucking people for you. And you told them all, no, you were waiting for me. Like, I'm going to personally come scoop you out and fucking rescue you. You got to do something for yourself in this space, in this environment. You're not a baby. You got to take this, the the straps off once in a while and be like, all right, check it out. I'm fucking in charge of me. Okay. I'm going to handle this right now. Whether it's a shit shower and shave, a good meal, your future, how you're going to feel now compared to then. Look, you got to do stuff. The only way to do it is to move through the environment and make adjustments and changes. If you're still listening to this after 5 years or 6 years or 7 years, your awareness has had to have gone up quite a bit. You don't get an excuse anymore of why you're not whatevering. Look at what you're putting into your whatever. Look at what you're doing. If you weren't worth $10 on the other end, that would have made 500, then you probably don't fucking love yourself. And that's terrible. And it's terrifying. And I'm going to just tell you this. I love you. I want you to succeed. I want you to. I really desperately want all of us there. But I can't make everyone there. And I can't make everyone go there. And buying Bitcoin is not going to just make everyone go there. You got to do your shadow work and your hard work. This is all attached to everything, both spiritually, physically, mentally. Think of the pressure that came off of how many people that were living in grandma's fucking basement like I was for my whole fucking life. On and off, living out of the fucking basement. Smoking cigarettes with fucking closet curtains up on a basement fucking ceiling with no ceiling. It's just wood. How much longer are you going to live like that? Well, I'm not worth it. You're not worth it. I give away the information, man. I love you. I could easily put this in a book and fucking sell it. I could have been on all these other channels if you didn't smoke so much weed and curse so much. I'm like, man, there's a place for me too. There's something for everyone. You got plenty of these charlatans swearing to God up and down all this crazy shit. And I'm like, only telling my story. Only telling my story. Here's the thing, though, with my story. I'm like, in my story, with the people that I've helped, I'm like 99% on it. 1% was my cousin Michelle, who drank a sip of ayahuasca, started throwing up everywhere. I don't know, demons. And then refused to drink the rest of it and sat screaming in my basement. And mind you, she's my older cousin, at the top of her lungs, how much she effing hates this and effing hates that. And what did I do? And I poisoned everyone and never fully integrated or tried. That was the one person that I failed at. And I still know her, talk to her and stuff. But that was the one mind that I couldn't work with. I don't need 60 people. I need 2 people willing to fucking learn something, willing to hear the story and say, well, he's got a story. Where's my story? That's what I want. I want to turn my comic book and go, at the last page of the book where I'm like, what's going to happen? And I turn it and you're there. And I'm like, holy shit, next issue, it's Michael. And you get your story. That's what I want. I'm going. It doesn't matter. I'm getting everything done. My karma's absolved. I'm ready to go. There's only going to be so many times I'm going to be able to have this conversation with people, especially with all you guys, before it turns into something else again. The minute this world shifts and changes, it's already going to be shifted again. We're going to be 10 steps the other way from this. While this is we're going to be meeting it like this. So it's going to loop back around in a cycle. Nobody's going to pay attention until it's $100,000. $100,000. People go, oh my God. You can still throw your 1,000 in now, your 100 in now, your 10 in now, your $2 in now. And Cash App just makes it easy to do that. And then you can figure out on the other end how not to lose it, and then just send it to yourself. Right? These are all wonderful things. I'm sorry if I'm coming off so uber strong. I haven't even looked at the screen or anything. I'm like looking right into the camera, channeling this from the highest, because that's the only thing that's important. It's the only thing that's important is you as a creator not having to have this overhead hanging thing. Will I get paid? I never have enough money. I always want, can't ever have anything. So I'm always doing this, and this. And it's like, well, what have you created? It's like, I can't fucking create because I ain't got no money. I got no money and I got no time, effort, energy. My brain function is low and I'm never in a good mood because I'm always worried all the time. Are you taking care of this? I was like this. I was way worse. I was worse. I was aggressive Frankie. I got to take what I want because fucking people, bro. Like, I'm not like that anymore. I've had to walk away from that. But I'm important and I love myself. So I do my shadow work. I heal my trauma. I face down these things and I'm the singularity. I'm the important one for me, right? So you're giving me awareness, or I'm granted awareness, or it's my birthright to just have as I evolve. So I'm going to ignore it. Right? It's the weirdest thing. It's like with people with paranormal, right? Like ghosts exist, but that's it. Like, what's the spirit realm to you? Well, I don't know. We got an EP key reading once, and then we got a voice on a recording, and I'm like, okay, are you still atheist? Like, where does this go? Like, oh well, no, there's no such thing as UFOs, but I got this voice that wasn't there on a recording once. And I'm like, oh, so you're aware of the voice on the recording once, but Bigfoot or UFOs is just completely out of the fucking question. Bitcoin is 100% off the table. Jesus might be real. The earth is flat. What else? Like, on and on and on and on. Like, where are you resting in this? Or are we just like, man, I need that comfort of being on the planet as a creator being with the ability to just create, wake up every day and have a smile on my face, even if I'm going to work, because it's going to be what I love. Now imagine getting up and doing something knowing that you're secure in your future. There are a couple of things you got to do, and then you get to watch it play out. Dun dun. Just like everything else. What's important to you? Why do we look at this and look at the awareness of these things and then pretend like they don't exist, or it doesn't go down more rabbit holes, or it doesn't open into a bigger thing? Why do the guys with M theory and string theory not realize that if you start merging things, it works? Metaphorically, right? No, it's only my way or the no way or the whatever way. Fuck this. You're a rebel. You are a rebel. You're not from here. You came here to help. We got in here in packs in the beginning, and we made it through the cycles of pain, death, frustration to now to focus on the big moment, and you're still going to be worried on the other end? That doesn't seem right, right? I'm not telling you to sell your house and do stupid shit. Don't be fucking greedy. One of the 7 deadly sins is greed, right? Don't do it. Don't be a dick. Like, I don't know how better to explain it to you. So many people have lost so much because they were like, no, I know Shiba Inu to the moon. And Shiba Inu to 1 cent right now would make billionaires. The problem is it would have to flip the market cap 3 times. It's not going to happen. But Bitcoin is. It's at number 7 now. I remember when it was in the top 20. It started flipping things. The top 100. Now it's in the top 7. It's going to flip the whole fucking board. Why not be on that wave? Both spiritually, mentally, physically. Yeah, it's not just about crypto and Bitcoin. It's about everything. It's about you checking you. Again, I'm checking me. I'm not free of this. It's hard for me to be in this home. Not anymore, but it was. Even though I've done amazing things here and I grew up in this house, my parents divorced and just left me to my grandparents in my underwear in the fucking street. Okay? When I was a young kid in front of everyone. There are embarrassments and things that have occurred here through the divorce and the hatred where I'm like, I'm big enough. I need to move the fuck out of here. My room right now, if I flip the camera, it's all action figures, toys, TVs, things that I could record music with, fucking weed, right? Like you're just like, what, who is there? Is there like a 10-year-old that lives in here? It's like, bro, I got to break the fuck free. I can't even sleep in bed with my wife because the bed's too small. So we have separate rooms. When the fuck did this happen? So I'm complaining about everything, right? Let me tell you guys a secret. Maybe you don't know. So I only have 4 cats now. Sugar Pop, Little Bear, Mama, and Bebe, who is reincarnated Gigi, the cat that had one eye, for those who were following me when I used to do the apartment at the other place. When I moved into that apartment, till I moved out of that apartment, I had anywhere from 10 cats to 26. So I've lost my entire family, each one to dramatic different events. Oscar, Paula's cat, died last month. He fucking died of an enlarged heart. 13 years old. He was fine and then just couldn't move, get up. We had to take him thousands of dollars just to know that he's going. Just to find out they were every fucking time we brought him because he had the stomatitis in his mouth. They were giving him COVID shots. And I'm like, I said to the lady in Stanford Hospital for fucking animals. It's a hospital for animals. It's the craziest place. I said, you don't think those COVID shots have anything to do with his enlarged heart? He has a whole bunch of those on that sheet. We didn't know about none of that. Oh, yeah, well, it's required by law. What? Where? I didn't sign nothing that said that. I didn't sign nothing at all. I've been paying you motherfuckers in cash. What are you talking about? So they're like, oh, drop that shit. Okay, let's go back a little bit. My Reggie is fucking gone. So I asked the guys when I moved in here, I had a special fence put around this place so the cats couldn't get out. And I came in, I said, the cats are coming today. How's the fence coming? He goes, it's done. I said, yo, guys, I don't want to make on your market, but you put the fence on wrong. That fence piece is, the netting has to be on the inside of the fence, or the cat could slip between the two fences and just go in by pushing its body. And he's like, no, you run the wire through the bottom and then they'll never be able to get in. They left without putting the wire in. All the cats came that we had left. I'm working backwards now, mind you. So Little Bear instantly, within 1 second, finds out how to escape, and he's in the neighbor's yard. I just spent $2,000 on this fence and the labor to put it up because I have a bad back and can't do it by myself. Instantly, he was out. Showed Reggie, Schwaby, and Choppa how to get out. They followed him out, never came back. They're gone. Reggie was in the middle of having her teeth removed from having stomatitis. I've been taking care of her. The great Kadu, my original cat Squeak, is Reggie. I lost my Kadu twice in 5 years. Kadu stands for the greatest mantra. They never came back. Now, we've been here since April. Never saw him again. No sign of them. We think one of the neighbors stole Teddy right before we left. Teddy disappeared. He was gone. The last month, he just disappeared one day. Neighbor came to me right as we were leaving and said, oh, my daughter loves the cats at this house. I'm like, oh, where you from? She's like, well, we live over here. Every day they come to the window and we take care of them nice. And I'm like, I felt it. She has Teddy. It just came out of nowhere, like the internal thing. I'm like, this chick stole the cat and it's in her house and she won't let him out. But I can't just say that to her. I'm in the middle of moving. So the landlord tells me, you have 30 days to get out. And I go, we had a new landlord. and they raised our rent $800, and we were like, "What?" They cut our heat because they were doing construction upstairs, but we had a contract to October, and then in February, the guy just shows up and goes, "Yeah, you got 30 days. You got to get out. We don't want these fucking cats here." So I was like, "Oh, well, the October date was so we would have our home. Like it's still winter. Like we're," and he was like, "We don't give a fuck. We don't care." They were like dickheads. It was pretty rough. So Grandpa Shadow, the gray cat, died. He was old. He had some problems. We were trying to take care of him. He was pooping all over the place. It was the craziest event. We had to move the poop cat into a bedroom here. Everything in this house is fucking carpet. Every up and down and bounce of what the fuck. And then Grandpa Shadow dies on the bed. He just goes to sleep in the same position. The next morning, we all woke up. He had passed. So I'm like, fuck, Grandpa Shadow's gone too. Leaving me with 4 cats. I have been on a journey beyond any journey. I've lost, when I do my greetings during the day, and I'm not alone. I know you're out there with me. All the animals that people help. Yeah, when I say it like that, I lost. It's like, I don't want to sound like that. But I'm sorry, I'm talking about it, so I have to kind of be like that. But I lost, in the last 8 years, well over 20 cats. And then multiple other animals that have passed from the cats either killing them after we rehab them, or them being released and immediately getting something happening to them, or not making it. I lost my best friend that I grew up with, that I never got to talk to again because of something that happened with his wife a long time ago that had to do with just him and her, and somehow he threw me into it and causing everyone to think it was me. And he died 52. Became the hardest thing to do, is to face all this stuff, is to come here with the loss and loss and loss and loss. And I know I'm worth more. You didn't see me for a while, and I'm just like you. I'm regular. I had to fight the fight, but as a different Frank. I had to accept my losses, be grateful for what I fucking have. I stopped hating my house. I stopped hating it here. I tell it every day. I love you. Thank you for all the things you provided me and that you're going to provide me futuristically. I'm healing the karma of the whole place. I ate mushrooms like a week ago, and then I walked outside and I saw all my ancestors had from this house. There were so many children that came forth that had karma that was unresolved with people from this house, from the other parts of the family. And I said, I'm not wearing the fucking mask for this anymore, because you'll catch yourself acting out of character in some kind of scenario that you could have easily avoided with everyone else. But your awareness of this is key. I'm not wearing the mask for you so you can have fucking daddy issues with me. It's a wrap. You want to work things out? It's one thing. You want to play fucking games? I'm not doing it. I'm not your ex. I'm not your ex-husband. I'm not your dead parents. I'm not your great-great-grandpa. I'm this guy. And I mean that to everyone. No, not picking on my mother or my wife or the cats or the neighbors, nothing. The minute I stopped playing the game, the masks, everything came off. People want to hold the mask, though. They put it back on and they go, well, and I went outside and I saw the karma. I said, where's mine? They said, Frank, the reason why you're doing this is because you're out of karma. I said, all right, so I'm helping them with theirs, but they're me and I'm them, right? And they, yeah. I said, okay, everybody in the vortex right now, opened a vortex right next to me, took a couple of deep breaths. I said, put all the karma in the vortex. It's over. Just dump it in. I'm sending it directly to source because I don't give a fuck. It's not my problem. It's over. The game is over. I want to be happy. I want to wake up, and I wake up pretty happy. I'm not saying I don't. My job for myself, it's like wake up happy with what you have, who you love. You're around the people you love. I'm like, I fucking love my wife. I love Paula beyond anything. I love my mother too. I love the dog Cannoli. I love the cats, every single one of them, whoever's left. And I'm going to love them where I thought in my heart, because Reggie and this cat and that cat, everybody's special to me and has their own favorites and all that. No, who's in front of me right now? Sugar Pop's my cat. Because Sugar Pop came out and was like, I want to be here with you. And I would look at her and go, how can I give this cat love? No, like this much love, knowing Reggie, my cat, is over here or wherever, dying in the street and whatever. I let it go, man. I said, no, I'm going to love the thing that's in front of me like I've never loved anything ever. And I have a new relationship with Sugar Pop. And I promised I wouldn't have any cats in the bed. I sleep with Sugar Pop every fucking night. She's like my best friend again. So all the cats that I'm missing and I can't, it hurts more than anything. But what hurts more is to look at a cat that wants love that's right in front of me, or a person that needs help right in front of me, or my awareness of me is right in front of me, and I'm not going to ignore it anymore. I'm going to reach out and grab that, and I'm going to take that, and I'm going to give it love. I'm going to help the scenario and situation. I'm going to make it beautiful, because it's hard and it's difficult and it's hard to call it beautiful at those levels. But when you're staring into this cat's eyes, who only wants to be with you, literally just I don't give a fuck about nobody in this house but you. Every once in a while, your mom's cool, but that's it. I'm like, I can't deny that. I won't deny it. I won't deny it for myself, just like I won't deny my future. I won't deny the people that I surround myself with. I won't deny my wife. I'm not denying myself either. I'm not out there buying a Corvette because I have some ego-driven small penis problem after 50 or some weird shit. I'm not having a crisis. I'm great and I'm happy, even with my being having my injury. I'm looking at it like I'm just going to heal through this. I'm just going to become more. I mean, isn't that what it is? Someone more, something more. Become the example. Aren't you the example? Who are you the example of? The black sheep. You've done your job. You've eaten up the karma. You've eaten the crap. You said, I forgive you. I'm sorry, and moved on. Even if you didn't get to say it to someone's face. You even told them maybe fuck you, but I love you. And never got to say the right thing again. But you can say it out loud. You could say it to yourself wherever you're at. You can combat this immediately. You can heal this stuff out. Save yourself. Save your future. Save the fucking problems. Help save your scenario. All by facing your awareness. Awareness is key, and it's one of your greatest superpowers. Because the more this goes on and the more aware you are of the things around you and that surround you in that space, is the more you unlock and the more awareness comes to you, so you can be aware of more things that have been there the whole time, layer after layer after layer after layer, and it doesn't fucking stop. There is no plateau. There's a stair on a staircase that never fucking ends until you go back to source. And stop trying to compare yourself and contrast yourself. Just walk the path and know. Knowing should be good. Knowing I'm source. Man, you gotta back the fuck up. Source is coming through. And my song's playing. And I'm coming through dancing. Because all I do is want to love and share that love. But don't by any means try to trip me. Don't try to play games with me either. Just because I'm nice doesn't mean I won't throw you down a flight of stairs. Let's keep going. Right? And you keep it going. This is where we're at. We're at a high plateau moment that you're like, wow, can it get any, like, it looks like it's going to change. Or, dude, it's about to flip. You're going to go dook, 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 and realize, yeah, I'm not on a platform. I'm on stairs and they're moving. I got to move. Dook, 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 dook. And you're not coming back here no more. You're never going to be who you were by the time this fucking show's over and you're done listening, the same person that you were when you started. Just not. You're not. It's going to change. You're going to open. Some of you are going to hear me. Some of you are going to be like, shut up, Frank. And a bunch of you are going to be like, whatever, cool. I'm just ingesting the material. But those that know. The train splits at some point. Remember that. We want to be on the right side of things. I don't know if when we get to 5D, there's money or no money. I have to take fucking word for it. When I was there was stuff being generated and things going on, but that obviously has to cost something, even if there's free energy. There were people working and doing things in the environment. How do they get paid? I don't fucking know. I got to take care of my business. It's still important. I'm important. Some of you's are literal angels. You're telling me you're not allowed to have that extra 1,000 in the bank account? The fuck is wrong with us? As a human species, to have a mind to think that you're not worthy. You go get the fucking hammer of Thor and put it next to you and pick it up every morning and say, nope, still worthy. Fucking throw that thing back on the floor and get to work. We need to start doing a little better. Our future's resting on people like that are ready to take that step, that are ready to do it, that are ready to make the moves, that are ready to help teach and show. And do you know that one of the heads of farming for our country is going to be the guy that the government attacked because he's like the greatest fucking farmer, and that he was in court battling with the government and everything, and Trump appointed him as like the head farmer guy for the United States. And you got people still fighting. I'm like, this guy's going to teach every single person how to plant the fucking tomato and eat delicious fucking real food. And you're fighting it. But that's what you want. You want real food, right? Yeah, I want all the poisons out of the products, but fuck this guy. It's like, why fuck this guy? Well, because of Trump. It's like, oh, so you're mentally sick. You still think it's a Trump thing. Don't you want good? Don't you want more money in your bank account? Don't you want it to be safer on your streets? Aren't these things you want? You're still basing everything on abortion? The fuck is wrong with you? It's a great talking point, but it's only one talking point. I'm sorry, it's only one. And by the way, it's murder. So if murder's the talking point, perhaps we're doing it wrong. Better men take care of it than me. I'm telling you, there's other talking points. You got an entire reality that needs to be cared for because the system structure is about to fucking fall apart. And you're worried about the letter X, and we're doing A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P. Like, we're still over here, rushing forward towards a new future. Don't pull out one letter and go, well, it must all be shit. That's not true. You're aware, in the age of information, your ignorance is a fucking choice. You're going to choose and make choices down to the end. Why sit there and go, oh, I wish I would have just done one thing for myself more. Just do more. Stop being a fucking bitch. Get up. Do what you got to do for yourself. Your awareness, by the way, of anything as source is your responsibility. You're responsible for the stuff in your awareness. In other words, you still drinking fluorinated water? You know there's really bad stuff in that. And now it's come out that they're going to take it out of the water because it's going to turn people into retardeds. Oh my goodness. Holy shit. If you're sitting there drinking it by the gallon going, that's your fucking choice. Whether it's a stupid choice or a good choice, that's not for me to decide. You're only going to be the one to judge you in the end. But if the information's out there and you're still doing it, you might be a dummy. Right? Ignorance is no excuse at this point. At this point, because you're in the information. I don't know what to trust, though. It goes up and down and up and down. That's what you're there for. You're the antenna to pull it in. Disregard things that don't feel right for you and take in all the things that do. Add to it. Add to your life. Put it in rotation. Deal with it to the next thing. And each one, even though feels very difficult because we're swarmed by emotions and everything else, and the environment is polluted. And I get it. It's hard. No excuses no more. No excuses. Absolutely none. Look at yourself, look in the mirror. I look at myself in the mirror. I laugh. I have a good old time, not because of just what I did for my future, what I do for me now, what the choices I've made. Look, I made some really cool choices and really little choices that were beneficial, that helped turn me into a character that's more regimented in certain ways mentally. And I love me that way. So the fact that I'm not a millionaire or selling books or my music's all over the world, none of that matters. I just create the music and I put it out. I just have fun. I look in the mirror and I go, I'm doing it, man. I'm doing it. It's hard. It's psychotic, but I'm here and I'm doing it. And I'm like, look at me, bro. I look like a gnome with a cool beard. I got the bald head and right. Like I just go with it, have some fucking fun, dance, sing, cook, clean. I know this sounds whatever, but a clean house, a nice full belly with a delicious meal that's been hypercharged with all that awesome energy of you in self-repair after healing trauma, feeling proud of yourself, knowing your future's secure while getting down with it and going, they can't get me. Knowing that every time I smile, a fucking reptilian cries one big giant reptile fucking tear and allow me to laugh for 3 hours, my friends, alongside all of us so we could have a good time. It is that time. You're about to manifest your future, going in there with your head down worried. What are you worried about? You're a force to be reckoned with. You're literally source energy. You're coming through. You're coming through. The scary part is knowing that that's going to happen and that you're going to be in charge of that. A lot of people that are my clients say the hardest part of working with you is realizing when you say your source, your God, your source, your God, source God, source God. I'm like, it takes away all the issues if you just have the gnosis of who you are, and then all the other things that you are cool. They're relevant, but irrelevant to source. Like, I'm bigger and there's so much detail that it'll go on forever. And I find that just to be cool. And we're about to go into a new one that's been never done and unexplored. And it's a new chapter. There'll be free energy. And, you know, Elon, here's a good part about Elon. I might move away from battery power to hydrogen, to water powered for the cars. I think that sounds great. Do it. Do it. Let's fucking go. They're landing rockets backwards into place. Let's go. You guys want to go to Mars? Fuck it. They're going to Mars. Let them go. This is going to be great, mankind. They want to dance. They want to sing. Well, that's a good song, and that's really cool. Well, I want to design this. I really desperately want to do it. Don't wait. Don't wait. You want to learn something new? Now's a great time to do it. You want to heal? Now's a great time to get into healing, right? If you have heavy metals, if you know someone that's on a verge of dementia and they're kind of close to you, or there's something going on and you have the information and choose not to share it, that's choice. You got the person right in front of you. Here's your chance. You don't have to drive it home and make it annoying. You could be helpful. You could teach, not just preach. Well, I told you. I was kind of like that a little bit with the Bitcoin, because I get annoyed. We could have all been on our acres already, but not time yet. It's literally not there yet. It's still me jumping the gun incredibly early as well. Because what's 90,000? This is how you'll be talking to yourself. What's 90,000 if it's going to be 1 million? What's 1 million if it's going to be 10 million? Let's see. Jump in now, or you jump in at 500,000 if it's going to be 1 million or 10 million. What's the big deal? This is what I'm saying. Don't fall into the fear, and your awareness is key. You know all this information now. You have the information. You have to do work with the information. You have to, like with me when I make ayahuasca or DMT or whatever, like I got to review what I'm doing. I got to make sure I have all the ingredients. I got to make sure the math is correct. I got to go over the math like 4 or 5 times because I could hurt someone if I put too much Syrian roux in it or something. Like you have to wreck yourself, check yourself before you wreck yourself. That's what that is. I'll just go over it a few times, make sure it's right. Everything's in place. All right, let's go. What are we waiting for? Press the button, Frank. I was one of it. Don't fear pressing the button. Don't fear the spiritual thing, metaphorically, of pressing the button. Test the waters. There's so much more going on. You might have that idea that breaks through in the future that saves, helps, regards so many people that are so confused right now. Right? Maybe even something within me is healed or fixed through someone out there that's listening right now that flips on the on switch and completely advances up. And I'm like, wow, that was fantastic. Charles Patty is a guy that was in the FearLess family. He saved himself. He's a good guy. He's on my Facebook, but he was on Channel 4, like NBC. I'm like, how did he get what's going on? I see one of the other girls. She was at Capitol Hill. I said, this girl was just like me, injured, drugs. Some people have drugs, some people have alcohol. And then heard the story, knew that they could fix themselves, went not just on the ayahuasca journey, whatever the journey took you, right? Wherever that took you, whatever path, but took the path. Now he's out there helping people all the time with health, getting off medications, all great positive things, all coming from the FearLess family at one point. Truth Frequency, even early, when we popped in there and just started the FearLess thing, there are people with us that are now in positions that are just completely different, that when they first heard us, we're like, that's impossible. What you're saying is impossible. But they took the steps and they've advanced. So much so that you're like, whoa. Yeah, it's just weird. You guys don't come back and talk to me, though. And be like, yeah, I see you on TV and doing all that stuff. I'm like, y'all should shout out the FearLess family once in a while. But we don't hate you. We love you. We all know where it comes from. We're all tribe when it comes to it. But just knowing that, you're like, wow, a whole bunch of people came out of here doing cool shit. Rihanna used to make our wands, right? Then Joe learned from Rihanna. Joe from Joe and Della from the FearLess family. Joe just moved, but him and Della, but Joe specifically used to make, or knows how to make the wands the way Rihanna used to. Right? Every time I have an experience, a psychedelic experience, if I put I have a couple of them. Joe had made me this one. This is amazing. It's hypercharged, it's supercharged. I go into my experiences, it unlocks doors in me that were locked. I'm like, hello. How many musicians we got in the FearLess family where it came out to all this crazy shit? How many cooks we got? And I don't mean cooks like you scrambled eggs. I mean fucking desserts and really cool fucking ways to cook, styles where they can teach. How many people plant and could plant? How many people have a green thumb and how many people don't? And then come out like, whoa, this is great. He talked about smoking weed and growing your own weed. Fucking New York did their thing. And I just started throwing seeds into the ground. And I know how to do this. And now let me show Frank how to do this. Or let me show this person. Matt McDonald, perfect example. He's the Mac daddy when it comes to growing. I'm telling you, right? He's an excellent tattoo artist as well. Love that guy. Matt, shout outs. But he knows how to grow. And where I was failing, he sent me a cool little thing. He hooked me up. He talked to me. Boom. Growing beautiful, beautiful stuff now. Do you care enough? Are you aware enough? Are you aware? If you're aware and you care, you're getting more awareness, and you're going to be able to open up more. And it's going to feel like responsibility, and it is responsibility, but it's good responsibility, not bad responsibility. It's responsibility to you, right? To say thank you, to hold the door open, to be kind to a creature, any creature, it doesn't even matter. Yeah, portals, UFOs, that's all great. That's all good. That's where this all leads. Through kindness, patience, through raising your frequency, through pure enjoyment of self. And then understanding, okay, service for self is over. Now it's time for service to this, for others. You know, I make fun of Paula because every night she gets into bed. My mother was like, the bedroom was in the living room for her. So we would just come up here at night. She'd get into bed and just hang out and then be like, you know, it'd be great right now. A dessert, like one of your crazy desserts, but ice cream and some chocolate and some, this should just give me some fleck ideas. So I'd be like, oh, so you want me to get up and go do this for you? Right. And I tease her, but I do it. I get up and I create something beautiful every time she asks, and even sometimes when she doesn't, because I care, because she takes care of me and I love her. And it's not a waste of my fucking time. She's not wasting my time at all. As a matter of fact, she's the one that put every ounce of her into me so I could become a better man. So if I could serve her fucking ice cream with chocolate on it the way I can make my desserts, because I make some good desserts, then fuck yeah, I'm going to make desserts. When else am I supposed to make dessert? When else are you supposed to do it? Or you could fight it. You could fight the awareness. Oh, you're just going to fucking every night come upstairs and my mother's downstairs, so you're not going to go down. Who wants to hear that shit? I want to be involved. I want to know what's going on. I want to see what's happening. I want to see it, why it looks that way and why that was said that way. I want to be involved. Why did it taste like that? It was so good. It was so magically delicious. Or, oh, next time the flavors are there, but just wasn't right. Like, that's your involvement and your awareness. And it's so key to this whole transformation process. Now, I'm losing my voice, and I was supposed to do the Fearless intro after I did this, and I'm at 2 hours. So, oh, Matt's here. I'm going to work backwards and say what's up to everyone. I love you too, brother. You're the man. What's up, Dawn? How are you today? The magic of each one of us broadcasting. Remember, you, in the best version of you, just being you, is an antenna broadcasting. It's pulling in info, it's pulling in energy, it's pulling in all kinds of stuff, and it's pumping it back out. Is what this world needs. It's enough. You just being a happy you, a creative you, a satisfied, understood, thankful version of you. Yeah, you could be upset. Yeah, at times you know, I'm a Jet fan. My team never won. I don't know if they'll ever win in my lifetime, but now it's sports entertainment to me. So it's all scripted wrestling. So I couldn't give a shit. Right? So I understand, but I'm still happy. I still am thankful to be part of this. And I wake up with the crank. It takes me 2 hours to wake up during the day. And Paul will fucking tell you how hard that shit is to see me fucking moping around, but I can't get the blood into my neck. I can't, everything hurts. But man, you let me be me. After those 2 hours, I open up, I turn into a flower, man. And I don't walk around looking for fights. I just don't dig into deep conversation first thing when I wake up. I can't answer questions. I can't do any of that shit. I'm like, I don't even know where I am. I need 12 cups of coffee. And then I'm in the game. Know yourself, know your awareness, know your levels, and know that you are doing it. Let's see what else is going on in here. I appreciate everybody that Lexi, I love you. I guess you got I'm learning how to tweet properly. Twitter won't let me broadcast live. I've been broadcasting live on Twitter for years. Nobody gave a shit. And then they told me recently, unless I'm blue check marked, I'm not allowed to use StreamYard on Twitter. So that's pissing me off. I might I might yeah. I'm kind of glad I'm reading all of the coming through with the force of source. Like, what? I'm glad there's not many questions, and maybe you feel what I'm saying, and that's enough. That's plenty. I have all the action figures all around me. I have them all here. I'm surrounded. I know sometimes on camera it's a lot better, but I got my Ghost Riders and I got my Megatrons, and I'm set. I'm ready to go. I just want to make sure everyone else is as well. So the new projects coming forward, FearLess Conversation. We're gonna bring people that have crossed me in this last couple of years, that have intertwined with my path and understand the information from their perspective, and have that same super information coming from a different direction, because we have someone for everyone, and everyone has a different piece of the puzzle. So I'm going to be loading them in, taking care of this. I got a few more. I might be on, let me pull up the calendar. Space Water podcast with Rog on Monday night. As long as everything's good on his end, then we're good. And then I got to get him on FearLess Conversations. And then a few little things I'm going to be putting out. I'm going to drag Paula out so all the girls, she can give you some really good perspectives. We've been digging in deep. Having a good partner, allowing you to say and do you, become you, more you, always puts best scenario at play, because the better version of me that's in play, the better it is for everyone else around me, right? So I know the XRP bar. Oh, here we go. What? Oh yeah, Oracle. This is I always wear this. This is keeps me calm and collected. Right? You just push the button. Heather, first of all, now sending positive vibes to you. Sometimes you need a little push over the edge. Just do it. Just do it. If you know it's going to be worth something, but it's not going to be worth something tomorrow, and you're not a greedy prick, and you're looking forward to things, and you want things to be better, and you're looking for a way to go, and this is the out you want to take, and you want a better future and a better tomorrow, where do you start? You start with your voting with your dollar. You learn how to say no. You pull your money from products like Coke and Pepsi, and I don't know, maybe you make your own fucking soda in your own house, and it's delicious, and the ingredients you decide to use don't have anything bad in it. And all you needed was that push. Just hit the button, right? Or like shower filter. Just get it and put it in. Done. It screws in. No, but my shower might be different. Do you live in the United States? Do you live in Canada? Yes, to any of this, then it's the same shit. You just get it, you screw it in. Now you don't have to fucking worry. Now you just wait 30 seconds, you get in, boom, clean shower, no fluoride. Not 100% perfect, but it's like 90, and that's better than nothing. And if it was 10% better, you should be doing it. If it's going to help you in any way, shape, or form, and it's not hurting you and hurting anyone else, why are you not accomplishing the task? These are questions we have to ask ourselves. You want ETs? They just announced on the 13th They have extraterrestrial bodies, the FBI, the CIA, everybody's involved. There are things from other planets flying around and coming out of our waters and from the inner earth. No one gives a shit. You got your fucking public announcement. Hello, McFly. You're the disclosure. I can't tell you how many times this crystal, when I put it on, helps me keep my mouth shut. Like, just it keeps it shut. Like, boop. Like, I'm completely aware of what I'm speaking about, or lets me take the gasket off completely and only lets the good shit fly out. So I can get passionate and crazy without putting a foot in my mouth. Right? Because that's what would happen in the past. Like, no, you got to believe me because of it. No, I don't need to do any of that shit anymore. Just the truth. Stop fucking dressing the fucking truth and the facts up in a shirt and a tie and details that make you feel fucking comfortable. You want ETs? You got your disclosure. Nothing happened. Nobody jumped up out of the fucking end. No one's coming to save you. No one gives a shit. We care because this is why we came. Everybody else is scrambling. Imagine when the scramble fucking, when it stops and the music stops for the musical chairs and everyone goes to sit down and there's no chairs for them. And they're just like, whoa, wait a second. It's like, we fucking told you. Don't be, and you can't say that to people. You got to be like, no, it's okay. It's all right. Check it out. A lot of people aren't going to want to be cool with that. They're not going to care. So we got to care about each other. We got to care about the things going on directly around us, the things I can reach out and grab and help that are standing right there. And what can I do? What can I learn in my downtime? Yeah, something just flew right by me. I saw it not just on the camera. I saw it right in front of me. So filling that in between time, like I get lost on Twitter now. That was my new thing because I wanted to beef it up a little bit, and I keep getting lost in these rabbit holes, and it's got me. I won't lie, and I'll flip back to Facebook and won't feel like I want to be on Facebook. I want to be over here, but I want to talk to everyone, but I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't want to answer a question, but I want to answer 50 questions. Like, it's like, dude, we're all going through that, right? So we make moves best for our positions, and we just keep constantly going into that position. During that downtime, I sat here the other night. I look at all these things, these toys and action figures. I have other stuff here. There's a lot of music equipment, and I'll say, hey, if you don't touch it every day, it's not really that good. And I'm like, yeah, but I like the pose he's in. I don't want to. And then I go, what are you talking about? Pick this fucking guy up. This is awesome. Wait, watch this. I bought an overseas Megatron, and then he speaks Japanese. And I was like, oh shit. I didn't even know he did that. Unless you get up and touch it, move it around. Okay, so my down moment, this is what wound up happening. I picked up an action figure. I'm 50 years old. I don't play with them. I just pose them and I put them right back in front of me. And I go, oh, it would look cool like this. But I have all these broken pieces that needed to be fixed of different items. And I had them here stuffed on this little table. And I said, yo, there's like 5-6 things here I got to fix. And I literally, after just breaking out of the Twitter thing, picking up the Megatron, seeing that he laughs in Japanese. Like, I fucking was losing. I was chasing Paula around the house with it, going, this is amazing. He even shoots laser blasts. But then I fixed everything fast. I realized how fast I fixed everything. I was like, I went around the house. I started putting batteries and flashlights. I couldn't find anything to do. I said, you should be writing music. I go, I'm just not overcome with the music thing right now. But the batteries, they need the flashlights all need batteries. I was plugging everything in, charging everything. Everything's going to be charged up in case the solar flare hits. And it just unleashed this whole barrage of crazy. And I was like, I got so much done. I got all these little creations and things done. And all that time I would have spent on the Twitter rabbit hole just wasn't there. And then I went back and sat down, opened it up, looked, and then I go, oh man, it's just this. Like, I get it. I get it. But it's hard. I don't want to dig into politics all the time. Sometimes I just want to know about entertainment stuff, but then I find out the entertainment sucks. I watched the fight last night. That shit was scripted and garbage. Yeah, everyone's playing everyone. It's playing out like a fucking cartoon. So it's difficult. You really got to find your niche. Sometimes in the last like month or two, I can't find nothing to watch on TV. I pull away from it a little bit, even though it's right here. And I was smoking with Paula before and it was quiet. And there was like this weird moment where it just got really quiet. And we're both sitting there and I looked at her and I go, you know what this moment is missing? Some fucking music. And I put on some stuff and it was a little too slow. And she looked at me and then I flipped some trip hop on and it started moving and we started smoking and we were just talking. And then she fucking she took a shower. She got dressed. She came back in the room. She was like, woohoo, look at me. And I was like, oh my God, I bought her a slouchy hat, but it was raspberry. Right. So she's like, I've wanted a raspberry beret and I didn't want to be stupid about it. So I made you buy me this and you bought it for me. And I go, well, it looks beautiful on you. And she's dancing around in it. All that dead air time where we're just like, I don't know what to do with my life. I don't want to do anything. And blah, 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 blah. We found enjoyment from here to there. And it covered the period between the last interview I just did to when I went live with you guys. And she left. I want to fill those moments with creativity and things going on and good, not worry and fear and all kinds of nonsense. So just keep that in mind as you're moving through this. Everybody likes, yeah, we all like the different characters and everything. Hey, don't worry, I got just in case someone gets stupid, I got the fucking piece under the mattress. Like, you got to do what you got to do, right? We're all people too. I'm put just because I read some comic books, man. I mean, I can't start no shit. Like we got it going on. We're adults. We understand, but fantasy and imagination is what rules and fuels the entire thing that derives you of being the source energy, because out of the nothing comes something. And what are these somethings? What are these things? I like these. I like the crystals. I love them. I love these things. I love you don't even know. I got the Spider-Man shit going on over here. And I keep my mental rack going, and I fail sometimes, and it's okay to fail. You're not really failing. You're just like, not today, fools. I can't do it today. I just can't. I'll pick up tomorrow, but then pick up. And it doesn't have to be on Monday. Remember that. It never has to start on Monday. You start right now. It's worth it. And you start with a little bit, right? If you want to do sit-ups, I could barely do any sit-ups or anything like that. And I started trying to do leg lifts, but I have to be careful because of my spine. But I got this thing where I could just lock my body in, and it keeps me in perfect position. I'm only lifting my feet like 6 inches off the floor. So I'm like, why wouldn't I do this? There's no, my mother's not here. There's no one in the living room. And I was just watching the fight last night. It was terrible. I just got down, did a couple, just added in. Boom. I felt great by the time it was over. I was a little sore today. Tomorrow when I sit downstairs, I go downstairs for coffee. When's the right time to do this? I don't know, but I'm going to pick this up and do a squat. Oh, guess what? My squats are done. This is how we keep going. We keep dialing it in and just keep rocking and rolling. And then you don't have time for the other stuff, the crappy stuff. You make your choices. You stick by them. You also have beliefs that move like water, like fluid. So I believe this until this occurred. And now I understood this. And now the belief structure changes to this because it's now this understanding. And then I keep this open because obviously there's going to be something new. And at no time do I have to waste to sit down, kneel, and pray unless that prayer is going straight to my higher self, source, or you, the individual. I don't sit and do mantras anymore, but I'll do mantras on the way to the store, driving in the car in that silent moment when I'm walking down the block. I'm thankful. I grab the first tree branch I see. I give it a little tickle pickle and go, thank you, trees, for everything you do. Just while I'm walking, done. I'm done. I'm doing my part. We're rocking and rolling, because a happy you and a happy me makes for a better place. So the best versions of us are going to be more internally cool, right? We'll be healed from our trauma, so it won't be so difficult being in public with all these weirdo children world star shit going on, right? All right, I'm just reading some of this. Yeah, so Elijah the Forerunner, that is true. Hi, Shell, how are you? Soliciting money and having to survive because you come out because of your awakening and your awareness grows and becomes bigger, and you outgrow, let's say, a job where you're working and you're unhappy and you have to get up and move into a new position. And you have these gifts, and you can't expect people to sit on the gifts and not use them in certain ways. Now, I do agree there's like a 50-50 balance where you're just kind of just trying to make money and you hustle from one thing to the next, and who knows if those people are being genuine or not. And then you have genuine people who are actually afraid to put a price tag on those gifts because they know it feels difficult to do that. But like I said, I couldn't give ayahuasca away. Couldn't give it away. Couldn't find one person to do it with me. Took a long fucking time to find someone around me to do anything here. The minute I put a price tag on it, that ayahuasca, Mother Aya literally said, put the price tag on it. People were knocking at my fucking door. Bro, I got to do this. I got to do this. And I was able to turn away the ones that were doing it for the wrong reasons. Aya herself was telling me, yes, no, they're ready. That one's ready. That one's not. This one will work. Do not bring this any further with this person. So if you're aware and you're paying attention and listening, the price tag sometimes brings in the people because you don't believe you're getting anything of benefit if it's not worth a money value. So there's a 50-50 in there where you hit the 51% mark, you're a charlatan, and you hit the 50% mark and you're still good on the side of working directly with source. Mind you, when you're reading out of the Bible, even though the Bible is good, it's good for references and parables and stories. You meet Space Jesus, he tells you none of the shit they're talking about me is even real. It's all made up. Except the fact that you can do what I can do. So I don't know where you want to go with that. Religion's good up to like level 3, and then you got to let it go. You know, fair energy exchange. Exactly. Okay, so it was a troll, or maybe just too many posts, and they slowed him down and said come back in 10 minutes. But yeah, we don't wear the religious mask really here because you're it. What are we supposed to do when you know you're it? When you pray or you open yourself up and source is like, you're me and I'm you. And then you come along and tell me, well, if God, and I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up. You realize I'm having like a personal full connection. I'm literally being shown how to do this. And then there's people on the sideline that judge because they're reading a book, but never had a fucking ounce of experience in their life. I find that to be really weird. But because the book says so, we should do it. There's books out there where 3-year-olds giving each other hand jobs, and you're going to fucking tell me about books being the right thing to do? You start looking into some of these guys and their religion, and they're like, well, in my religion, we can have sex with girls until they're 9, even if we're married. And I'm like, but what? And I'm not allowed to say a fucking word to nobody. But meanwhile, these little kids are basically getting raped. Yeah, religion's good up to a certain point, and then you got to fucking toss that shit. Once you realize that it's you, it's like you needed the information to get from A to B, but now we're doing C and D, and that's no longer relevant. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, I know. They read scripture. I don't know, man. People that read scriptures also go to see evangelists that don't open their churches to help. They quote scripture. I don't know. Ooh, the Bible thumping, right? Gives you a fucking headache. Hey, do you have a minute to hear about your Lord Savior? No. But if you come in, I can sit you down and tell you, see, this is where it gets weird, that your source and Savior, it's you. That's the whole thing. It's you. Yeah, we're done with that shit. Fake gurus got to go. All right. So with that being said, I want to, because I'm kind of losing energy. We're 2.5 hours in. This is actually a couple hours of conversation tonight, but I love you guys so much. I hope I didn't bark at you too much, and I apologize if I came at the listener too difficult. I just want you to have an exciting life. I just want you. We're in the future. We're gonna have free energy and all kinds of cool shit. I can't tell you when. I can't tell you where things are going to pop up. I can't tell you when the next Bitcoin thing's going to happen. I can't tell you when gold and silver is going to roll, but I can tell you for sure the system is crumbling and collapsing, and the math works out to if this goes, that goes. Right? So if one thing goes down, the other thing's going up, period. That's how this works. It's how it's always worked. It's never not worked that way. Now we're just working on a bigger, deeper scale. As above, so below. You got to trust yourself sometimes. You got to trust in yourself, right? You got to weigh out your options. You got to take this info and go run it down the rabbit hole yourself. I wouldn't buy Bitcoin because Frank said it. I would be like learning Bitcoin. You don't have to learn all of it. You learn the basics. You type in YouTube, what is Bitcoin? What is blockchain? Learn what the fucking blockchain is. Is blockchain life? Type in what is blockchain. I have videos in on the YouTube page in the playlist section inside Crypto Love, I think it's called. And you could go in there and just watch some basic videos. It changes all the time. And I throw stuff in there randomly. Some stuff's very advanced. Some stuff's not. Listen to Altcoin Daily. Just listen to these guys talk. There were 2 regular guys that lived in their fucking basement that are now household names that people that know crypto. And they're not dummies. They're really nice dudes. They have a great channel. There's a lot of good ones. And you can find your information booth. Go to Coinbase and just read. Right? Take the 15 minutes you'd spend while you're in the bathroom, going to the bathroom, and read it on your phone. Learn a little bit. It's going to sound wonky. It's going to be weird. You don't have to get in depth and detail. Be like, well, the Bitcoin ratio to this. You just got to know the basic dollar to fucking Bitcoin ratios. You got to realize that one thing and the other thing is just one thing's falling and crashing, making the other thing more secure and valuable while being secure and valuable and holding value. So it's a magic moment. And we should be sharing some of this stuff together. If I open the flower of life in your mind, why wouldn't I open that in your wallet? Right? So it's the same thing. The blockchain is the flower. It's just opening. And inside each petal is a node. And that node contains the information from all the other nodes. Like it works beautifully and interacts with you on that level. We're going up into a higher level. We're going to need a higher level of stuff. So at first, I guess we're going to have some money and then maybe we don't have it anymore. I don't know how it works, but I'm sure it goes less and less as you go in that direction. Why suffer now? Why do we always have to suffer? Why is it always us suffering? You don't need to suffer, right? If you know you can do something and make it better, why are you not doing it? But once again, if you can do a push-up and you don't do a push-up, even though you know it's going to help, but you don't do the push-up, but you know if I did the push-up, you'd get a little better and, you'd feel a little stronger, you'd feel a little healthier, and you don't do the push-up, that sounds like something's wrong with your mind. So if you can straighten that out, maybe you'll do one push-up, buy one piece of a Bitcoin, like $1 in Bitcoin. I'm going to add 1 minute of meditation. I'm going to be one more time thankful. I'm going to be one more time grateful today, just in the moment. I'm grateful right now and I'm grateful. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all you need to do. Did you feel grateful? Yeah, in my heart, I did. You're good to go. Did you forgive yourself? Did you forgive others? What's going on? All right. That's enough for me, babble. I love every single one of you. Thank you so much. Questions, comments. I'll be around for a little while tonight. And then I'm online. You know where to reach me on Facebook and on Twitter. So remember, everyone, to stay fearless, and the universe rewards bravery. I love you guys so much. Don't forget to check out Sons of the Suns music. Me and Kev are getting good. We got good ones. The new single. Oh, the new single Singularity was played on FM radio. Nobody thought to ask me. So shout outs to my man Eric. I wanted to tell you guys this. I'm going to tell you the radio station right now because I'm not even going to fuck around. Here we go. So it was played on all right, WMRW 94.5 FM radio in Vermont has now officially played multiple songs from Sons of the Sun, but just the other day played Singularity. So shout outs to my man who had me on a show. Powerful. And that show's up and out. And stick with us. Like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you next time. I got to get the door because Paul is home. Love you guys. Peace.